What if the most important message from your aging parent wasn't something they said, but something they didn't? You see, sometimes the final chapter doesn't arrive with sirens or hospital beds. It comes quietly, like the soft hum of a clock winding down. You don't notice it until the silence feels different. Let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor was 87, feisty as ever, and could still put on lipstick without a mirror. Red, always red. She made the best lemon pie in 3 counties, and I swear she had a sixth sense for when someone was lying. Her daughter Lisa said she never thought anything was wrong. "Mom's just getting older," she said. "She's still herself." But over a few months, things changed. Not dramatically, just subtly. Eleanor started sleeping more. She stopped baking. She told Lisa the lemon pie recipe was too much effort. And one day she didn't wear lipstick. Just like that. These changes might seem small, but they weren't just signs of aging. They were quiet signals that Eleanor's body and her spirit were starting to prepare for goodbye. In today's video, we're diving into 5 subtle signs that an elderly loved one may be in their final year. These aren't always dramatic medical emergencies. They're whispers, not shouts. And if we learn to listen, we can provide care, comfort, and love in ways that truly matter. So let's begin with a sign that often hides in plain sight. Sign number 1. Withdrawing from life, and not just socially. You ever notice how someone who used to love chatting on the phone now lets it go to voicemail every time? Or they used to go to church every Sunday but now say, "I'm just too tired"? Withdrawal is one of the most overlooked signs, and I'm not just talking about skipping dinner plans. When an elderly person begins to pull away from relationships, activities, and even conversations, it may be more than just fatigue. It might be part of the natural process the body and mind go through at the end of life. It's like a gentle detachment from things that once felt vital. Now, don't panic if Grandma skips bingo one week. We're talking about patterns here. Repeated withdrawal. A shift in personality. Lisa said Eleanor stopped answering her weekly calls. "I thought she was mad at me," Lisa confessed, laughing nervously. But she wasn't. She just didn't have the energy or the need to connect the same way. The human spirit sometimes starts preparing before the body does. Tip: gently ask your loved one what brings them peace right now. Don't push them to stay active. That might come from our fear more than their need. Instead, meet them in their quiet. Sit with them. Hold their hand. Listen without filling the silence. Sometimes love is just being there. Sign number 2. A noticeable decline in appetite and thirst. Okay, if you're a woman over 50 like me, you've probably spent decades making sure everyone eats something, whether they're hungry or not. But here's the thing. When an elderly person starts refusing meals they used to love, it's not always picky eating. It can be the body's natural way of slowing down. Appetite loss is common in the final year of life, and not just from illness. The metabolism slows. Digestion becomes harder. Even thirst disappears. Eleanor, the woman with the famous lemon pie, she started saying things like, "I'm just not hungry," and would nibble half a cracker all day. At first, Lisa brought her protein shakes, Ensure, all the usual suspects. But eventually, Eleanor just didn't want them. This is hard, especially for us caregivers. We equate food with life. But forcing food can actually cause more discomfort at this stage. What the body is doing, quietly and gracefully, is beginning to let go. Tip: instead of pushing full meals, offer favorite comfort items, maybe tea, ice chips, or soft fruits. And hydrate gently. Even just swabbing the lips with a damp cloth can help keep them comfortable. The key? Comfort over calories. Sign number 3. Sleeping more Talking less. Remember when you were a teenager and your mom said, "If you sleep any longer, you'll miss your whole life." Well, later in life, the body starts to crave sleep again. But this time, it's not about laziness. It's about preparation. In the final months, the average elderly person may sleep 14 to 20 hours a day. It's not unusual. What's more telling is that during their waking hours, they may seem quieter, less responsive, or simply less interested in conversation. Lisa said she noticed Eleanor sleeping through her favorite soap operas. "That woman never missed The Young and the Restless," she joked, half laughing, half tearing up. When someone starts sleeping through the things they once lived for, it's a sign. The body is prioritizing energy. Every cell is winding down. Tip: don't wake them unnecessarily. Create a soft environment, dim lights, soothing music, a comfy blanket. Try to schedule visits during their more alert hours. You don't need to do anything. Just being there while they rest is enough. And yes, bring the good blanket. You know the one. Sign number 4. A sudden surge of energy or clarity. Now here's the one that throws everyone off. Sometimes, in the final days or even hours, an elderly person will suddenly perk up. They'll become more talkative, eat more, or even want to go outside. It feels like a miracle. It feels like they're getting better. But this phenomenon is real. It's called the rally. And while it's beautiful, it's often one of the final stages. Lisa told me Eleanor had one of these rallies. She asked for lemon pie, Lisa said. She hadn't eaten more than a spoonful in weeks, and suddenly she wanted pie. They laughed. They told stories. Lisa thought maybe they had more time. The rally can be the soul's last spark before rest. Tip: don't let this scare you, but don't get swept away in false hope either. Embrace the moment. Be present. Say what you need to say. If they're lucid, talk openly. Hug them. Tell them how loved they are. This is the gift before goodbye. Sign number 5. Subtle physical changes that we often miss. Sometimes the biggest signs aren't loud. They're in the little things: cold hands and feet, a faint pale tone to the skin, labored breathing, less frequent urination, a new fragility in the way they sit or move. Lisa said she didn't realize how frail Eleanor had become, until one day, helping her into bed, she felt like she was holding a bird. She was just light, she said, like the wind could have carried her. These aren't always things a doctor tells you to watch for, but they're real. And often they mean the body is conserving energy, focusing only on the most essential functions. Tip: stay in close contact with a hospice or home care provider if you see multiple signs. They're trained to help both the loved one and you. You're not supposed to carry this all alone. So what do you do once you start noticing these signs? That's the question no one prepares you for. There's no handbook titled "How to Watch Someone You Love Slowly Fade," because if there were, we'd all pretend we didn't need it. But we do. We need guidance. We need reassurance. And sometimes we need someone to say, "You're not going crazy. This really is happening. And no, you're not a bad daughter, sister, or friend for feeling overwhelmed." So let's talk about the emotional part, because it's not just them going through something, you are too. 1. Prepare emotionally, but don't expect to be ready. Let me say something that might sound strange, but is very real. You can be prepared and still be heartbroken. You can know the signs, understand the process, read all the articles, and yet when the moment comes, you'll still feel like you've been hit by a wave that pulls the floor out from under you. And that's okay. Lisa said she thought she was ready. Eleanor had been declining for months. Hospice was involved. She knew what was coming. But the moment she passed, Lisa said, I felt like I was 12 years old again. Like I lost my mom and my best friend in the same breath. Here's the truth. You don't prepare to avoid grief. You prepare to walk through it more gently. That means journaling your thoughts, talking to trusted friends, praying, crying in the car, whatever helps you slowly process this sacred time. You don't have to be strong every day. You just have to be real. And let's be honest, real women cry in parking lots. It's practically a rite of passage. 2. Have the hard conversations. Now we avoid these conversations like they're haunted houses. Mom, is there anything you want us to know? Have you thought about what kind of care you'd want if things get worse? Would you want to stay at home? Would you want a service? These are big questions, yes, but asking them before things get urgent is an act of love, not fear. And you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Start with small invitations. Lisa said she approached Eleanor like this. Mom, I was thinking, if anything ever happened, I'd want to make sure I honored what you want. What would bring you the most peace? You don't need a notary public and a checklist the first time you bring it up. Just open the door. Tip: use a memory as a bridge. For example, remember when Aunt Rita passed and everyone was arguing over what she would have wanted? I don't want that for us. Let's just talk, even if it's a little awkward. Trust me, awkward is better than regret. 3. Create a comfort-focused environment. Once you see these signs, the goal shifts from treating to comforting. That means we stop asking, how do I make them better? And start asking, how do I make this easier? Here are a few simple, powerful changes that can make a world of difference. Lighting. Soft, warm lamps instead of harsh overhead lights. The kind of glow that feels like a hug. Sound. Quiet music. Oldies they love. Hymns. Nature sounds. Music has a magic way of calming the soul. Temperature. Older bodies get cold easily. Keep cozy blankets nearby, ones that smell like home. Scent. Try lavender or chamomile oils. Just a few drops on a pillow can ease anxiety. And please, let them wear the fuzzy socks. No one should go out of this world with cold feet. 4. Let go of the guilt. You're doing better than you think. There's a particular kind of guilt that caregivers carry. You feel guilty for not doing enough, for being tired, for snapping when they ask for the same thing for the 15th time, for not being there when they needed you, for being there, but not being present. It's relentless. Lisa told me she cried one night after Eleanor passed, remembering the time she got frustrated about something small. I told her I was tired of repeating myself, she whispered, and now I'd give anything to hear her say, "What did you say, dear?" Just one more time. We all carry one regret or another, but hear this. You were doing the best you could, in an impossibly sacred, tender moment of life. You are not supposed to do this perfectly. You're not a nurse or a saint. You're someone who loves deeply, and that's enough. You showed up. You stayed. You comforted. That is holy work. So please release the guilt. It doesn't belong in this space. 5. Honor the small moments while they're still here. You know what Eleanor said during her rally? She looked at Lisa and said, "I'm glad we didn't wait till I was gone to have pie together." That one sentence, simple, sweet, and honest, brought Lisa to tears. We spend so much time worrying about what's coming that we forget to live the moments we still have. So here's a radical idea. Laugh with them. Watch old game shows. Let them tell that story about 1957 one more time, even if you could recite it in your sleep. Take a picture. Hold their hand. Watch the way their eyes sparkle when you bring their favorite soup. Say, "I love you," even when they're too tired to say it back. Because these moments, These are the ones that will echo in your heart long after they're gone. So you've started seeing the signs. You've had the hard talks. The lights are soft, the house is calm, the lemon pie may or may not have been eaten. And now comes the part no one teaches us. How to actually walk beside someone during their final days. We don't talk about this enough. We avoid it like the word moist in a dinner conversation. But we need to. Because when you love someone through their final chapter, you're doing one of the most courageous things a human can do. So, let's talk about what to expect when that final year shifts into final weeks. And then, days. 1. Understanding what the body is doing and why it's okay. Let's start with the truth. Most doctors don't explain in plain language. The body is not failing. It's slowing down. It's nature at its gentlest. Here are a few physical changes that can show up in the final weeks or days. Breathing may change, becoming slower, shallower, even pausing for several seconds. This is called Cheney-Stokes respiration. Hands and feet might feel cold or appear mottled, like a purple or blue marbling. They may stop eating and drinking entirely. They'll likely sleep almost all the time, even when you're sitting right beside them. You may notice a glassy look in their eyes, or that they're no longer fully focused on this world. And no, none of this means they're suffering. It means their body is doing what it knows how to do, gently closing down, organ by organ, sensation by sensation. Like the tide slowly pulling back from the shore. Tip: you don't have to fix this, you can't. But you can bring peace. Play soft music. Place a hand on theirs. Speak gently. Even if they're not responding, they can often still hear your voice. Say their name. Tell them they're safe, that you love them, that they can rest now. That's all they need to hear. 2. Hospice isn't a defeat, it's a gift. Let's just clear something up. Hospice does not mean giving up. It means giving in to love, to comfort, to dignity. Hospice isn't a place. It's a kind of care. It's about helping your loved one live their final days in peace, not in pain. With care, with calm, and surrounded by the people and things they love. Lisa said it best. Hospice didn't take away my mom's life. It gave me the chance to be her daughter again, not just her caregiver. Hospice nurses are trained to notice the subtle changes, to offer the right medication at the right time, to guide you through every stage so you're not alone. And here's the bonus no one talks about. They're incredible at giving you support, too. You can ask them, "Is this normal?" 57 times, and they'll still answer with grace. Tip: the earlier you involve hospice, the more support you get. Don't wait until the very end. Reach out when you notice consistent decline in mobility, eating, or mental clarity. They can step in gently and give you a village when you need one most. And sometimes, a village is what keeps you from falling apart. 3. What to do when you feel like you're already grieving, but they're still here. It's called anticipatory grief, and if you've felt it, you know how weird and heavy it can be. You cry and then feel guilty. You laugh and feel like you're betraying them. You feel grief pressing on your chest like it's already happened, except they're still breathing. Lisa said it felt like living in a house with a slowly fading light. She was there, she said, but part of me was already mourning the space she was leaving. This is normal. Let me say that again. This is normal. Our hearts don't wait until the final breath to break. They begin breaking in advance, preparing for the storm. That's why it hits in waves. At night, in the car, during the quiet parts of the day. So what can you do? Talk to a friend who understands. Write letters to your loved one, to yourself, to your younger self who isn't ready for this. Let yourself feel. without judgment. Watch a comfort show. Eat the damn chocolate. Sit in the sun. And remember, you're walking two roads at once, being present and letting go. That's holy work. It deserves grace. 4. What to say and what not to worry about saying perfectly. Here's a big fear people have during a loved one's final days. What if I don't say the right thing? Can I free you from that burden? There is no perfect phrase. There's only realness. You don't need to deliver a movie monologue. You don't need to say something profound. You need to be there and speak from your heart. Here are a few things that always matter. I love you. Thank you. I'll be okay. You don't have to worry. I'm so grateful for you. It's okay to rest now. And sometimes, silence is sacred too. Just sitting beside them, gently stroking their hair or holding their hand, can say everything that words can't. Tip: if you're not sure what to say, try asking questions about memories. What was your favorite childhood toy? What did you love about your wedding day? What's something you never told anyone before? Even if they can't answer, the questions connect you, and that connection is everything. 5. How to care for yourself in the final days without feeling selfish. Let me be very clear about this. You cannot pour from an empty cup. In your loved one's final weeks, you'll likely forget to eat meals that aren't crackers or string cheese. You'll fall asleep in chairs. You'll cry in the laundry room. You'll think taking a 30-minute shower means you're abandoning them. It doesn't. Caring for yourself, especially now, is an act of love, for them and for you. Make a care list, a real one. Tape it to the fridge if you have to. Eat something warm every day. Go outside for 5 minutes of sunlight. Call a friend just to talk. Say yes when someone offers help. Cry when you need to. Laugh when you need to. Take 5 deep breaths before you walk into the room. And please, for the love of all things soft and holy, do not try to be a martyr. You don't have to do this alone. Lean on siblings, friends, hospice, neighbors, your daughter's college roommate if she offers. Anyone. You are strong. But you don't need to prove it every minute. And then, it happens. Quietly. Maybe in the middle of the night. Maybe while you're holding their hand. Or maybe when you stepped away for just a moment. One final breath. One final heartbeat. And the room changes. If you've never been in the presence of someone as they leave this world, it's hard to describe. But many people say the same thing. There's a peace to it. A kind of stillness that's heavy and holy. Like the air knows something eternal just happened. And now you're sitting in that silence wondering, what do I do now? Let's talk about the hours that follow. The foggy, surreal space after loss. Because no one tells you how deeply sacred and strange that space really is. The first 24 hours. What happens? What you need to know. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. You don't need to rush. If your loved one passes at home under hospice care, call the hospice nurse first. They will come, pronounce the death officially, and guide you through what needs to happen next. If you're not under hospice care, call emergency services. But let them know the person has passed peacefully. They'll still send someone to confirm and handle paperwork, but there's no need for sirens or rush. And here's something beautiful you might not know. In most states and countries, you can keep your loved one at home for a few hours before the funeral home arrives. This is your time. Your moment. Lisa said she sat beside Eleanor for 2 hours. I brushed her hair one last time, she whispered. Put on her lipstick. Red, of course. You are allowed to take that time. Sit. Cry. Pray. Talk to them. Tell them what you didn't get to say. Kiss their forehead. Hold their hand. This is your goodbye. There's no need to rush grief. Let it unfold like a soft, slow curtain. 2. What to expect emotionally. Spoiler, it might surprise you. Let's bust a myth right now. Grief doesn't follow a neat little 5-step checklist. Some people cry immediately. Others go numb. Some feel guilty because they feel relieved. Yes, relief is normal, especially if it's been a long decline. If you've been caregiving, losing sleep, worrying every hour, you might feel like your whole body just exhaled. That's not selfish. That's human. Lisa said she didn't cry at first. I just sat there. I felt blank, like my brain forgot how to work. Then, 3 days later, while folding laundry, she broke down over a pair of socks. Grief is sneaky like that. It shows up in the quietest places. So let it. Cry, sleep, yell into a pillow, eat a grilled cheese at midnight, wear your mom's perfume just to smell her again. There is no correct way to grieve. There is only your way. 3. What to do with the guilt, the regrets, and the I should haves. Almost everyone has them. The things we wish we did, the things we wish we said. I should have spent more time with her. I snapped too much when I was tired. I never asked about her childhood. But here's the truth. Your loved one knew you loved them. They saw it in your eyes, in your care, in the 1,000 little things you did. You don't need a perfect goodbye to have given perfect love. Lisa said she kept replaying the time she forgot to bring Eleanor her favorite blanket. She was cold, and I'd forgotten it in the laundry. It haunted me for weeks. But here's what I told her, and what I'll tell you. Your love was enough. It was always enough. Let the guilt go. Replace it with a blessing. Say it out loud if you need to. I forgive myself. They loved me. I loved them. That's what matters. Creating a legacy. How to honor them in the everyday. After the funeral, after the calls slow down, after the casserole dishes get returned, you're left with the question, how do I keep them close? The answer? In the everyday. You keep their memory alive in how you live. Make their lemon pie on their birthday. Play their favorite song when you need comfort. Use their old handbag when you go out shopping. Tell your kids their favorite sayings. Yes, even the weird ones. Laugh at their old jokes. Cry when you need to. Light a candle. Say a prayer. Lisa hung Eleanor's red lipstick on a little hook by the mirror. Every time I look at it, she said, I remember how bold she was, how she made aging look fierce. Legacy isn't about statues or plaques. It's about how someone's spirit lingers in your life, in your habits, your heart, your humor. So make room for them in your daily rhythm. Let grief become something sacred, not something to be feared. 5. You are stronger than you think, and you're not alone. Look at you. You made it through watching the signs, through the hardest conversations, through saying goodbye, through the fog of grief, through loving someone into their final breath. That is the kind of strength they write poetry about. And no, just because the world has moved on doesn't mean you have to. Grief doesn't go away. It becomes part of you. It softens, shifts, shows up in different ways. Sometimes it laughs with you. Sometimes it catches you off guard in the cereal aisle. But you carry on, with grace, with love, with the quiet knowing that you were there when it mattered most. Lisa told me I still talk to my mom. When I'm driving, when I'm cleaning, when I put on red lipstick. I tell her I miss her, and I swear sometimes I feel her smiling. And maybe that's the final sign, the one that never fades. Love never leaves. If this video brought you comfort, if it helped you understand what you're seeing, or helped you prepare for what's ahead, please give it a like. It really does help others find this kind of content when they need it most. Subscribe to Golden Age Tips for more support, stories, and practical guidance as we navigate the later chapters of life together. With grace, with wisdom, and yes, even with humor. And if you're going through this right now, leave a comment, share your story, or just say their name. We read everyone, and you're part of this community now. From my heart to yours, thank you for being the kind of person who loves deeply, cares fully, and shows up, even when it's hard. Until next time, be gentle with yourself.